Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin so common, so ordinary, that most people wouldn't look twice. Now imagine that same penny, small, brown, and unassuming, being worth over $961,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single 1961 D. Lincoln penny could be your ticket to a life of wealth, freedom, and security. The question is, do you have one sitting somewhere in your change jar right now? There's a secret hiding in plain sight. Millions of Americans unknowingly toss away coins every day that could change their financial destiny. But today, we're uncovering one of the most fascinating stories in U.S. coin history, the 1961 D. Lincoln penny, a coin minted in Denver, Colorado, that has stunned collectors and experts with its staggering value. Some versions of this penny have sold for over $961,000, and yet many people still don't know why. So before you spend that penny or drop it in a donation box, listen carefully. You might just be holding a fortune. Let's take a step back in time. It's 1961. John F. Kennedy is president. Gas costs around 31 cents a gallon, and the Denver Mint is striking billions of copper pennies with the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. To the naked eye, nothing seems extraordinary about them. But as with most treasures, the real value lies in the details. You see, while billions of 1961 D pennies rolled off the presses, only a handful were struck with extraordinary precision, or, in some rare cases, unusual minting errors that made them one of a kind. These errors include double dies, repunched mint marks, and incredibly sharp strikes that caused Lincoln's features and the wheat lines to stand out with crystal clarity. In the world of coin collecting, perfection and rarity go hand in hand. When those two meet, the value skyrockets. But here's the twist. Most people never notice the difference. They toss these coins aside, unaware that their everyday penny could be a life-changing discovery. Imagine the feeling of realizing that an old coin sitting in your drawer could pay off your mortgage, buy you a luxury car, or even fund your retirement. It's thrilling, isn't it? But it's also a reminder. Opportunity doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1961 D penny so desirable. First, the D mint mark, stamped just below the date, tells us it was minted in Denver, where production quality was usually very high. However, among the billions struck, a few coins show signs of what collectors call proof-like quality. These are coins with unusually sharp detail, mirror-like fields, and minimal contact marks. Some of these have been graded by professional services at MS67 or higher, meaning they're virtually flawless. One such penny sold for nearly $1 million. Not bad for a coin that cost 1 cent to make. Still, not all valuable 1961 D pennies look perfect. Some owe their worth to minting mistakes, tiny imperfections that make them unique. A famous example is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's image or the date appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. Another sought-after variety is the repunched mint mark, where the D was struck more than once, leaving a visible shadow effect. These quirks, invisible to most eyes, are what collectors hunt for. And here's where it gets interesting. Many of these valuable pennies are still out there, circulating quietly. Think about it. How many times have you received change at a grocery store or found coins under your couch cushions without looking closely? What if, one day, one of those forgotten coins turned out to be your golden ticket? It's easy to dismiss these stories as pure luck, but success favors the curious. Collectors who take the time to learn, inspect, and preserve their coins often find themselves rewarded beyond expectation. The truth is, the world of coin collecting isn't just about metal. It's about legacy, discovery, and the thrill of hidden fortune. But there's a flip side too. For every collector who finds a rare gem, thousands overlook one. Imagine selling off your coin collection for a few dollars, only to learn later that a single penny from it was worth hundreds of thousands. It's a haunting thought, isn't it? That's why it pays to know what to look for. Literally.so. How can you tell if your 1961 D penny might be valuable? Start with the basics. Check for strong details in Lincoln's hair, the sharpness of the lettering, and the clarity of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the mint mark. If you notice doubling, repunching, or unusual features, you might be looking at a rare variety. Next, check for the coin's luster. Rare coins often have a distinct shine even after decades. And finally, if you believe you have something special, get it professionally graded. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and assign value, giving you proof of worth that collectors trust. But here's the real secret: the 1961 D-penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that even the smallest, most overlooked things can hold unimaginable value. Think about it. A single penny minted over 60 years ago has the power to transform someone's life today. That's not just wealth. That's destiny forged in copper. Now, let's stir the imagination for a moment. Picture finding one of these rare pennies. You're holding it up to the light, your heart pounding as you realize what it is. The soft copper gleam seems to whisper history and promise all at once. You send it in for grading, and weeks later, the news arrives. It's nearly flawless. You've just joined an elite circle of collectors and investors whose fortunes began with nothing more than curiosity and a keen eye. Of course, not every 1961 D-penny will make you a millionaire. Most are worth only face value. But the chance, the possibility that one could change your life is what keeps this hunt alive. It's that same excitement that drives treasure seekers, antique collectors, and dreamers alike. Because deep down, we all love the idea that something ordinary can become extraordinary. So, the next time you come across an old penny, don't just spend it. Study it. Examine the date, the mint mark, the details. You never know when fortune might be staring back at you. And if you think this is just about money, think again. It's about being part of a legacy that connects generations. A legacy of curiosity, craftsmanship, and discovery. The 1961 D. Lincoln penny is a tiny piece of American history, a whisper from the past telling us that wealth often hides where we least expect it. So, take a look at your coins today. That 1 cent could be worth $961,000, or even more as values continue to rise in today's market. The next great discovery might already be in your hands. If you've made it this far, here's a little challenge. After this video, grab your coin jar, dig through those old rolls of pennies, and see what treasures you might uncover. The rarest finds often go to those who are simply willing to look. And before you go, remember this: wealth isn't always about finding gold or winning the lottery. Sometimes it's about recognizing value where others don't. That's how true collectors think. That's how fortunes begin. Imagine finding a single penny, tossed in the corner of a drawer, hiding under the couch, or stuck between the seats of your car, only to discover that it could change your life forever. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet one humble coin, the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, has shocked collectors and investors alike, with rare examples valued as high as $967,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent turning into nearly $1 million. But how can something so small hold so much power? The answer lies in a mix of history, rarity, and the thrilling unpredictability of coin collecting. The 1967 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a window into a unique moment in American history, a symbol of resilience during a time when the U.S. Mint faced intense changes. But before we dive into why this coin is so valuable, let's rewind to the year it was born. It's 1967. America is buzzing with energy. The Vietnam War, the space race, cultural revolutions, and a frustrated U.S. Mint trying to solve a coin shortage crisis. To speed up production, the Mint decided to eliminate mint marks altogether. That's why all 1967 pennies, whether made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, bear no mint mark at all. At first glance, that makes them look common. Over 3 billion were struck that year, flooding pockets and cash registers nationwide. So how on earth could one of them be worth nearly $1 million today? Here's where the story takes an exciting turn. Among those billions of coins, a few were struck with extraordinary precision, or with rare errors that slipped past the Mint's watchful eyes. Some were created using experimental planchets. Others show dramatic doubling on the date or the word liberty. These rare anomalies turned ordinary coins into collector's gold. It's the thrill of the hunt. Millions of people have handled these pennies, Yet only a handful possess the rare traits that skyrocket their value. Imagine unknowingly spending one at the grocery store for a stick of gum. Ouch. What gives the 1967 penny its jaw-dropping value is condition, rarity, and, of course, demand. If your penny looks like it's been through the ringer, scratched, faded, or dull, it might only fetch a few cents. But if you're lucky enough to own one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with an error or proof-like surface, it could be worth tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. The current record? A staggering $967,000 paid at auction for an ultra-rare 1967 specimen graded at the highest level possible. That single coin, once pocket change, now represents a small fortune. Now, here's something most people don't realize. The 1967 penny's true value isn't just in its metal or rarity. It's in its story. Every scratch, every curve of Lincoln's face, carries decades of history. It's like holding time itself in your palm. Think about it. How many hands did it pass through? What moments did it witness? Sometimes, what looks ordinary is hiding extraordinary potential. But let's be real. Finding one of these gems isn't just luck. It's about knowledge, timing, and a little bit of courage. The coin world rewards those who dare to look closer. Have you ever checked your change with a magnifying glass? No? Maybe it's time. Because right now, as you watch this, someone could be discovering a fortune in a forgotten jar of pennies. Collectors often joke that the best treasure maps are in our own homes. And they're not wrong. Old coffee cans, dusty piggy banks, even estate sales. These are gold mines waiting for sharp eyes. One viewer once shared that after learning about rare pennies, he searched his late grandfather's collection and found a 1967 coin graded MS-67. He sold it for $12,000. Not bad for a worthless penny, right? So, what's stopping you from making the next big find? Here's a bit of humor for you. People spend hours scrolling through social media for entertainment, but rarely spend 10 minutes looking at their spare change. Yet that small act could change their financial story forever. Life's funny that way. The treasure we chase is often right under our noses. But don't wait too long. The coin market moves fast, and demand for rare Lincoln cents has never been higher. Each year, collectors are willing to pay record prices to own the finest examples, driving values upward. The longer you hold onto your old coins without checking them, the greater the risk of missing out on massive opportunities. So, how do you know if your 1967 penny is the one worth nearly $1 million? Start by examining its condition under bright light. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's hair, crisp lettering, and a glossy finish. If you spot doubling or unusual coloration, don't clean it, ever. Cleaning destroys collector value instantly. Instead, store it safely and get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification could be your golden ticket. And here's a secret. Even if your penny isn't the $1 million one, don't toss it aside. Many 1967 pennies still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on their grade. Every coin you examine increases your odds of finding something truly special. You're not just looking for a coin, you're uncovering hidden wealth that's been waiting decades for someone with vision to see it. Imagine this for a moment. You're sitting at home, sorting through your coins, and suddenly you notice something unusual. The light hits it just right. The details are sharper, the color richer. Your heart races. Could this be the one? You send it off for grading, and weeks later, the news arrives. It's rare, it's pristine, and it's worth nearly $1 million. That single penny changes everything. Your future, your plans, your life. That might sound like a dream, but for a lucky few, it's already reality. The world of rare coins is full of stories like these, ordinary people turning small discoveries into life-changing wealth. And the next story could be yours. Before you toss another penny aside, remember this. Every coin has a story, but only those who take the time to listen can unlock its true value. The 1967 Lincoln penny stands as a timeless reminder that fortune often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to find it. So, the next time you find an old penny, don't ignore it. Examine it. Treasure it. It could be your key to financial freedom, your ticket to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. If you want to keep learning how to spot these hidden treasures and turn small change into lasting wealth, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Because your next coin, your next discovery, could just be worth a fortune. And wouldn't it be a shame to let that slip through your fingers?
What if I told you that a single 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, yes, the kind you might still find in your change, could be worth as much as $968,000 today? It sounds unbelievable, but that's exactly what makes this story so powerful. Because the next time you hold a coin in your hand, you might just be holding a fortune. The tale of the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just about copper and value. It's about discovery, history, and the life-changing potential hidden in plain sight. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this coin is so valuable, but also how to tell if the one in your collection, or tucked away in an old jar, could be the next one worth nearly $1 million. Let's go back to 1968, a year that shaped America in unforgettable ways. The nation was going through change, socially, politically, and economically. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln cents that year, most of them seemingly ordinary, small, and unremarkable. But among these coins, a few turned out to be extraordinary, the kind that coin collectors call once-in-a-lifetime finds. These no-mint mark 1968 Lincoln pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time didn't use mint marks. But here's where the story gets fascinating. A few coins were struck with such precision, such quality, and such rarity in era and condition, that decades later, they have become the crown jewels of American numismatics. Imagine holding a coin that traveled through time for more than half a century, surviving pockets, drawers, piggy banks, and dusty jars, only to emerge today as a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a romantic idea, isn't it? That wealth might already be in your possession without you even realizing it. But here's where most people make a mistake. They assume all old coins are valuable just because they're old. That's not how this world works. Rarity, condition, and historical significance, these are the holy trinity of coin value. And the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has all three when the right conditions are met. To truly understand its worth, you need to look closer. Literally. Let's start with the design. On one side, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, symbolizes liberty, leadership, and the American dream itself. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. Yet, many collectors still refer to this era as part of the wheat lineage, a continuation of the legacy of one of America's most iconic coins. Now, here's the fascinating twist. While most 1968 pennies are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a few were struck using experimental dyes or with unusual variations that set them apart. Errors like double dyes, misstrikes, or even planche variations can make these coins worth small fortunes. The rarest of them, in pristine mint state condition, can command prices soaring past $900,000 in private auctions. Just imagine it. Someone, somewhere once spent that very coin on a cup of coffee, not realizing it was worth a lifetime of them. And this is where excitement meets fear, the fear of missing out. Because every year, collectors and investors sweep through flea markets, estate sales, and old coin collections, searching for these forgotten treasures. Meanwhile, thousands of people unknowingly trade away their valuable coins for face value. It's happening every single day. Have you ever handed over a penny thinking it was just 1 cent, when it could have been worth your dream car or the down payment on your dream home? That's the thrilling danger of ignorance and the power of knowledge. Collectors call the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny a silent millionaire. Why? Because it hides its value in plain sight. It's easy to overlook, easy to dismiss, and yet, for those who pay attention, it can change everything. Now let's talk about grading, because condition is everything in the world of coins. A circulated 1968 penny might fetch you a few cents or $1, maybe a bit more if it's clean. But when a coin is found in near-perfect mint state, untouched by human hands, its luster intact, its surface flawless, that's where the numbers start climbing fast. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are the gold standard for verifying a coin's condition. A 1968 penny graded MS-67 or higher can already be worth several $1,000s. But when it reaches that rarefied level of perfection, where no blemish or flaw can be found, the price leaps into 6, even 7 figures. That's when collectors and investors go head-to-head in fierce bidding wars. Here's a quick humor break. It's funny how people spend hours scratching off lottery tickets, but ignore the little copper lottery sitting in their change jar. That's irony worth about $968,000, don't you think? But back to the serious side. What makes this penny story even more captivating is how it reflects a piece of American identity. The Lincoln penny isn't just money. It's a symbol of persistence, humility, and legacy. Every person in America has held one. It connects generations, from your grandparents who saved them during the Depression, to your parents who carried them to school, to you holding one now, wondering if it's your ticket to fortune. And let's not forget the collector's psychology. Coins like these appeal not just because of their monetary worth, but because they tell stories. Stories of craftsmanship, mistakes, and miracles of survival. The 1968 no-mint mark penny isn't valuable simply because it's rare. It's valuable because it's proof that something small, overlooked, and ordinary can become extraordinary when preserved, recognized, and respected. That's a life lesson disguised as currency. Now here's a thought that might keep you up tonight. Somewhere in America, there's a penny sitting in a drawer, unrecognized, ungraded, and untouched. And it could be the next one to sell for nearly $1 million. The owner might walk past it every day without realizing that their financial freedom is sitting under a pile of dust. That's both exciting and terrifying. But what about you? Do you have any 1968 pennies at home? If you do, here's how to check if yours could be worth a fortune. Start by examining the coin under good light. Look for sharp details, Lincoln's hairline, the edges of the letters, and any doubling around "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Check the coin's surface for a smooth, mirror-like finish. If you notice no scratches, discoloration, or wear, you could be holding something rare. Next, weigh it. Authentic 1968 pennies made from the copper alloy should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything lighter or heavier could indicate a minting error, and that's where values skyrocket. Finally, get it professionally graded. This step separates dreamers from doers. Most people never take this step, which is why they never discover the true value of their coins. A simple grading could transform a coin worth 1 cent into one worth a life-changing sum. And here's where urgency comes in. The market for rare U.S. coins is hotter than ever. Wealthy collectors and investors are turning to tangible assets as the economy shifts. That means rare coins like the 1968 penny are seeing explosive price growth. The $968,000 sale isn't just a historical number. It's a reflection of what's happening right now. There's a window of opportunity, and it won't stay open forever. Think about it. Every valuable coin eventually gets discovered, sold, and locked away in private collections where it may never see daylight again. Once that happens, its price only climbs higher, but its accessibility disappears. So the time to act, to search, to sell is now. Imagine the story you'd tell if you found one. The disbelief at first. The excitement when you realize what it's worth. The moment the check clears, and suddenly, all your financial stress melts away. It's not a fantasy. It's happened before, and it will happen again. Someone somewhere will be next, and maybe that someone is you. But the value of this story doesn't end with the coin itself. It's about a mindset, the ability to see opportunity where others see nothing. It's about paying attention to the overlooked, the forgotten, the underestimated. Because in life, just like in coin collecting, those who see value before the world does are the ones who prosper the most. So the next time you pick up a penny, don't just glance at it. Look closely. Think about the history it carries. Think about the possibility that fortune favors the observant, because that tiny coin might be your key to freedom. And before you go, remember this. Wealth isn't always created by working harder. Sometimes it's created by seeing what others miss. So go through your change. Search those old jars, those dusty drawers, those boxes in the attic. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny may be out there waiting for someone brave enough to look. And if you're the kind of person who believes that even the smallest thing can change your life, then you're already one step closer to finding it. Thank you for watching. If you found this story inspiring and eye-opening, Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the hidden treasures that might be sitting right under your nose. Because sometimes the journey to wealth begins with something as small as a penny and ends with a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Imagine holding a single penny that could change your life. Not just any penny, but one hiding in plain sight, tucked away in your change jar, worth not 1 cent, but nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what makes the 1971 mint Mark Lincoln penny one of the most intriguing treasures in U.S. coin history. Every now and then, a coin emerges from the past that defies logic, stuns collectors, and transforms ordinary people into overnight millionaires. The 1971 Lincoln penny is one such legend. A coin that continues to astonish experts with its mysterious value, shocking rarity, and the sheer fortune it can bring to those who recognize it before anyone else does. But what makes a 1 cent coin worth $971,000 in today's market? And more importantly, could one of these elusive pennies be sitting in your home right now, waiting for you to discover it before someone else does? Let's start where it all began. The year was 1971. Richard Nixon was president, gasoline was 36 cents a gallon, and the San Francisco Mint was quietly striking millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them were ordinary copper coins, so ordinary, in fact, that people barely noticed them. But hidden among those countless coins were a few that were anything but ordinary. The San Francisco Mint, known for producing proof coins, special editions crafted for collectors, accidentally released some of these proof coins into general circulation. These were not supposed to end up in the hands of the public. Each proof coin had been struck with extra precision, polished dies, and mirror-like surfaces meant to showcase the perfection of the mint's craftsmanship. And yet, fate had other plans. Now imagine this. One of those flawless proof coins, meant for the nation's collectors, slipping unnoticed into the stream of commerce, into grocery stores, vending machines, or perhaps even your grandfather's pocket. That's how legends are born. So what separates the 1971 proof penny worth a fortune from the millions of regular ones? Comes down to a few key details. Details that the average person overlooks every single day. The mint mark, located just beneath the date, indicates it was struck in San Francisco. But not all mint pennies are valuable. The treasure lies in the quality of the strike, the sharpness of Lincoln's image, and the brilliance of the mirrored background. Coins that display a strong contrast between the frosted design and the glossy fields, known as cameo or deep cameo, are the ones that can skyrocket in value. In 2025, one such penny, perfectly preserved, sold for an astonishing $971,000. Think about that for a moment. 1 cent worth almost $1 million. It's almost poetic. A simple reminder that even the smallest things in life can hold immense power if only we learn to look closely enough. And here's the thrilling part. The market for rare pennies has never been hotter. As more collectors flood into the coin world, searching for undervalued treasures, the prices of key coins continue to climb. This isn't just about nostalgia, it's about opportunity. While the average person might ignore the loose change rattling in their drawers, savvy collectors see something entirely different. Potential wealth hiding in plain sight. Of course, there's a bit of fear that comes with this excitement, too, because for every person who finds one of these rare pennies, there are countless others who unknowingly spend them, handing away small fortunes for a stick of gum or a cup of coffee. Imagine realizing years later that the penny you gave away was worth nearly $1 million. That's the kind of story that keeps collectors up at night. Now, let's get practical for a moment. How can you tell if your 1971 penny could be the one? First, check for that unmistakable mint mark beneath the date. Next, look at the coin's finish. Does it shine like a mirror? Is Lincoln's portrait crisp, with frosted details? If so, you may be holding something extraordinary. Proof coins often have squared edges and a glassy surface that regular circulation coins lack. And if yours appears pristine, untouched, or sealed in a protective case, well, you might just have something worth getting appraised. Here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Only a handful of 1971 proof pennies have ever been found in such immaculate condition. Many have been lost to time, mishandled, or tarnished beyond recognition. That scarcity is exactly what drives their value sky high. In the coin world, perfection is everything. The difference between a penny worth $10 and one worth nearly $1 million often comes down to a microscopic scratch or a tiny imperfection invisible to the naked eye. But that's what makes the hunt so irresistible. It's not just about money, it's about discovery. It's about the thrill of uncovering something that everyone else has overlooked. And in today's economy, when people are searching for new ways to secure their future, the idea of finding hidden wealth in your own home feels both magical and empowering. And let's be honest, there's a little humor in the idea, too. You could spend years chasing business deals or investments, only to find out your greatest fortune was sitting in your penny jar all along. Who knew that the path to wealth might start with digging through your spare change? But don't wait too long. The world of rare coins is changing fast. As new collectors pour in and competition intensifies, the number of high-grade examples available is shrinking. Once they're gone for good. That's why now is the perfect moment to take action, to learn, to check, and to verify before another year passes by. Because here's the truth. Every great collector story starts with curiosity. Someone, somewhere, decided to take a second look at a coin the world thought was worthless. And that single moment of awareness led them to unimaginable wealth. Could that story be yours? Imagine finding a 1971 penny today, sending it for grading, and getting the call. Your coin has been verified as a deep cameo proof. Just like that, your life changes forever. A single cent becomes your gateway to a new beginning, a symbol of patience, discovery, and reward. And while luck plays its part, knowledge is what truly sets winners apart. So if you're sitting there wondering whether your old coin collection might hold something special, don't dismiss it. Take the time, check your coins, because the next $1 million penny might not be in a museum or a collector's vault. It might be in your hand, right now. So before you go, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from the obvious places. Sometimes it comes from the smallest coin in your pocket. Stay curious, stay inspired, and don't forget to look twice at every penny you find. You never know when one might be worth $971,000. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins that could transform your life, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community of collectors. Your journey toward discovering hidden wealth starts right here, with just 1 cent and one spark of curiosity. The next coin we talk about might just be the one sitting in your pocket. Have you ever looked at an old penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that a single 1972 Lincoln penny, yes, the one without a mint mark, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Somewhere, right now, someone might be holding this tiny copper coin, completely unaware that they're sitting on a small fortune. And if you think that sounds unbelievable, wait until you hear the story behind it. It all started in 1972, a year when the United States Mint produced over 5 billion Lincoln cents. Most of them were ordinary, brown, coppery, and worth exactly 1 cent. But hidden among those billions was something extraordinary. A small number of coins were struck with a doubling error, known as the 1972 double die obverse. The doubling on Lincoln's portrait, especially around the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," created one of the most dramatic minting errors in American history. Imagine this: a machine meant to stamp one clean impression accidentally strikes twice, slightly misaligned. The result? A coin that captures 2 impressions of history in one moment. These mistakes, rare and fascinating, turned what should have been just another penny into a collector's dream. And here's where it gets exciting. Depending on the condition, this little cent can sell for hundreds of thousands, even up to $972,000 in pristine, uncirculated grades. Now, why do collectors go crazy for this coin? It's not just the error, it's the story. The 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny symbolizes the intersection of rarity, history, and human error. Think about it. How many times in life do mistakes make something more valuable? This is one of those rare moments. And as time goes on, the number of high-grade examples only decreases. Coins get lost, damaged, or corroded. So each passing year, the surviving few become even more precious. Let's talk about how you can tell if you have one. Pull out your magnifying glass or even your phone's camera. Look closely at the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If the letters appear doubled, clear, bold, almost like a shadow of themselves, you might be holding the legendary 1972 double die penny. But here's the catch. Not every doubled penny is the real deal. The U.S. Mint identified several minor variations, known as Class II and Class V double dies, which aren't nearly as valuable. The true prize is the Class I double die, sharp, obvious doubling visible to the naked eye. Collectors prize authenticity and condition above all. A coin graded by PCGS or NGC in mint state condition with full red color can command astronomical prices. The record sale of this coin at auction shocked even seasoned numismatists, with bids soaring into the high six figures before settling around $972,000. That's nearly $1 million for a penny. Let that sink in for a second. And here's where fear creeps in. Every year, people unknowingly spend or trade away coins worth thousands, sometimes millions, just because they don't know what to look for. Imagine buying a coffee with a penny that could have changed your life. It's the kind of thought that makes you want to dig through every jar, drawer, and dusty box in your house right now, doesn't it? But let's take it a step further. Why is this moment so important for people like you? Because we're living in an era where collectibles are outperforming traditional investments. Rare coins, art, gemstones, they're all becoming alternative assets for building real wealth. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a ticket to financial freedom for the person lucky enough to find it. And that's the opportunity most people overlook. Of course, there's excitement, but also a sense of urgency. The market for rare coins is changing fast. More collectors are entering the game every day, driving up demand. Meanwhile, authentic high-grade examples are disappearing from circulation. If you wait too long, the chance to own or even sell one of these treasures could slip through your fingers forever. Think about the stories that come with this coin. Ordinary Americans, teachers, retirees, even kids, have discovered these pennies in pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections. One man found his in a box his grandfather left behind. He thought it was worth a few dollars, until he learned it could pay off his mortgage. Can you imagine that moment? The disbelief, the excitement, the realization that something so small could change your life. Now, before you run off to start checking every penny in your possession, there's something to remember. Condition is everything. A heavily circulated coin might still hold value, but the highest rewards go to the clean, crisp examples, those that look almost untouched since 1972. Storing and grading your coins professionally isn't just smart. It's essential if you want top dollar. And here's a little humor for you. People spend thousands on get-rich-quick schemes, yet sometimes the secret to wealth has been hiding in their couch cushions the whole time. It's funny, isn't it? How we overlook the small things, literally. So how can you take advantage of this knowledge? Start by learning how to identify valuable errors. Educate yourself, check your change, and connect with trusted dealers or grading services. Because every expert in the coin world started out just like you, curious, skeptical, maybe even a little doubtful, but driven by the hope that something extraordinary might be hiding in plain sight. The truth is, coins like the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny remind us that wealth isn't always about luck. It's about awareness. The people who pay attention, who act while others hesitate, are the ones who win. And maybe, just maybe, your next penny could be the one that changes everything. But here's the twist. Some believe there are still undiscovered variations of this coin waiting to be found. Uncatalogued, unnoticed, sitting quietly in someone's old change jar right now. Could one of those be in your home? Could you be the next person to uncover a hidden treasure worth nearly $1 million? You'll never know unless you look. So tonight, after this video ends, open that drawer, that old piggy bank, that jar of forgotten coins. Because opportunity doesn't always knock. It jingles softly in your pocket, disguised as a penny. And before you go, if you're serious about uncovering the hidden wealth sitting right under your nose, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Every week, we reveal more stories like this. Rare coins, hidden treasures, and the secrets that turn ordinary people into millionaires. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your life forever. A coin so rare, so valuable that it could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But hidden in ordinary jars, dusty drawers, and old coffee tins across America, The 1975 D Lincoln penny might be sitting quietly, waiting for someone like you to discover it. It's small, it's copper, and it's the coin you've probably ignored countless times. Yet this little cent from 1975, struck with the Denver mint mark, has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. Why? Because certain versions of this coin have fetched up to $975,000 in the current market. And if you think that's exaggerated, think again. Every major coin expert and auction house has seen prices for rare Lincoln cents skyrocket, as more Americans realize the fortune hidden in their change. But let's rewind for a moment. How did an everyday coin become a millionaire maker? Back in 1975, the United States Mint in Denver was running at full speed. Millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses, each bearing that tiny D under the date. Most were ordinary, 1 cent for candy, gum, or a payphone call. But among those millions, a few were extraordinary. Minting errors, variations in die strikes, and subtle differences in composition made a small handful of these coins incredibly rare. Imagine that: a microscopic flaw turning a penny into pure gold point, one of the most valuable types. The 1975 D penny with unique double-die obverse errors. Under magnification, Lincoln's face, lettering, or date can appear slightly doubled. A tiny visual anomaly that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. Others have been discovered with off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even transitional metal compositions that shouldn't have existed in that year. These small details can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now here's the part that gives collectors goosebumps. Many of these ultra-rare coins were never found by the mint. They were released into circulation, into the pockets of everyday Americans. Someone bought a coffee with it, someone else dropped it in a jar, and decades later it could still be sitting in a box in your attic. So before you shrug and say, "It's just a penny," take a closer look, because that penny might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Collectors today are paying unbelievable sums. One near-perfect 1975 D Lincoln penny in mint state condition was recently valued at around $975,000. That's right, a coin smaller than your thumb, worth more than most people's homes. Why? Because condition, rarity, and historical significance combine to create an irresistible cocktail for serious investors. High-grade specimens, those with brilliant luster, no scratches, and strong details, are practically priceless in today's numismatic market. And here's where things get interesting. As inflation rises and tangible assets like gold, silver, and rare coins gain attention, the Lincoln penny has become more than just a collector's item. It's an investment. Wealthy buyers are competing at major auctions for coins like this, knowing their value only increases with time. They're not just collecting history. They're preserving wealth in one of the oldest forms of currency, known to MN. So why haven't you checked your coins yet? Because most people don't believe they could be that lucky. That's the quiet fear many have, the fear of missing out on a hidden fortune sitting right under their nose. Imagine later discovering that you once had one of these rare pennies and spent it without realizing. That's the kind of regret that keeps collectors awake at night. But let's talk about you. Maybe you inherited a jar of old coins from your parents or grandparents. Maybe you still have that childhood collection tucked away somewhere. Before you dismiss it, take the time to inspect each penny, especially those from the 1970s. Look for the 1975 D mint mark. Hold it up under good light, use a magnifying glass, and pay attention to the fine details. Are the letters sharp and clean? Is there any doubling on Liberty or the date? Is the strike perfectly centered? These clues can help you spot a potential treasure. And if you do find something that looks unusual, don't rush to sell it for quick cash. Get it appraised by a professional numismatist or send it for grading through services like PCGS or NGC. A properly graded coin can multiply its value many times over. There are collectors actively seeking these gems, and they're willing to pay premium prices to own a piece of American history. Think about it. How many opportunities come along where a penny, literally 1 cent, could set you up for life? This isn't just about luck. It's about awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to look closer at what others overlook. Because in the world of rare coins, fortune favors the observant. And let's not forget the story each coin tells. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, wasn't just another piece of currency. It was a tribute to one of the greatest American presidents, Abraham Lincoln, a man who rose from humble beginnings to lead a nation through its darkest times. It's poetic, isn't it? That a coin bearing his face, made for the common man, could now hold the potential to change someone's life financially. Imagine holding one of these rare 1975 D pennies in your hand. The weight of history, the thrill of discovery, the realization that something so ordinary could suddenly become extraordinary. That's the magic of numismatics. It's not just collecting, it's treasure hunting with a purpose. But here's the catch. These coins won't stay hidden forever. As awareness grows, more collectors are scouring old jars, estate sales, and auctions, hoping to find that once-in-a-lifetime coin. The competition is heating up, and once these few rare specimens are claimed, their prices will likely soar even higher. So the real question is, will you act now or look back later wishing you had? Take a moment after this video. Open that old drawer, dust off that coin jar, and start searching. The difference between a regular penny and a life-changing one might be sitting right there, waiting for your attention. And if you do find a 1975 D Lincoln penny that looks unusual or pristine, remember, get it verified, get it graded, and most importantly, don't rush. A coin worth up to $975,000 deserves your patience and care. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the legacy you can create, and the simple truth that sometimes wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you've already held in your hands all along, so the next time you hear that familiar clink of a penny hitting the counter, ask yourself, what if this is the one? Don't wait for luck. Create it. Subscribe for more insights on coins worth money, and join the growing community of Americans uncovering hidden fortunes, one penny at a time. Imagine opening an old jar, sifting through forgotten change, and realizing one of those dull, copper coins is worth nearly $1 million. That's not fantasy. It's the story of the 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, an ordinary coin hiding an extraordinary secret that has stunned collectors, investors, and dreamers alike. Every year, countless Americans unknowingly toss away small fortunes. They hand over rare coins for coffee, drop them in parking meters, or let them collect dust in drawers. But what if the penny in your pocket right now holds the power to rewrite your financial future? That's the incredible mystery behind the 1979 Lincoln cent. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this humble 1-cent coin could be your golden ticket to a wealthier life. The 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the United States. Now, here's where things get interesting. While hundreds of millions of pennies were produced that year, only a select few were struck with astonishing precision, near-perfect condition, and flawless luster, so pristine, in fact, that collectors will pay a fortune for them. In today's market, one of these elusive beauties has reached an unbelievable value of $979,000. Let that sink in. A coin worth 1 cent in your hand could sell for nearly $1 million. Who wouldn't want that kind of luck? But, of course, luck favors the prepared, and those who know what to look for. Let's uncover the secret. The 1979 no-mint Mark penny isn't just about its date. It's about the details, those microscopic imperfections that turn metal into money. You see, coins from this era can show small variations. A double die on the obverse, extra thickness on the lettering, or an unusually strong strike. These subtle differences separate common change from world-class rarity. And here's the catch. Most people never notice. They'll glance at the penny, see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, and move on. But a trained eye, a patient, careful observer, can spot what others miss. That's where true fortune lies. Imagine the thrill of discovering it. You're going through an old coin jar, maybe one passed down by your grandparents. You pick out a few tarnished pennies and suddenly notice something unusual. The shine looks different. The letters appear bolder. The detail in Lincoln's hair seems sharper. You grab a magnifier, your heart racing. Could it be? The idea alone fills your chest with excitement. Now, before you start emptying your piggy bank onto the kitchen table, let's understand what makes this coin so powerful in the collector's world. The 1979 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, designed by Victor David Brenner and first minted in 1959. It's composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that warm, classic glow that modern zinc pennies just can't match. Collectors adore this era because the craftsmanship was exceptional, and many coins from the late 70s show remarkable strikes. Still, not every coin is equal. While most 1979 pennies are worth just face value, those in uncirculated or proof-like condition, especially with full red luster, can fetch hundreds, thousands, or, in extremely rare cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. When one surfaces at an auction, collectors worldwide compete fiercely, driving prices to breathtaking heights. The record-breaking sale that reached $979,000 sent shockwaves through the coin community and ignited a new wave of treasure hunters across America. But there's more to this story than money. It's about timing. Coins are markets of history, value, and emotion. And right now, demand for pristine Lincoln cents is surging. Why? Because people are waking up to the truth. There are fewer of these rare pennies in existence every day. With each coin lost, melted, or damaged, the survivors become more valuable. And that's where the urgency comes in. The clock is ticking. Every year you wait, these coins become harder to find. Every jar of old change could hold a hidden masterpiece, waiting for the right person to recognize it. Are you ready to be that person? Here's a quick way to start. Take out your coins and check the date, 1979, with no mint mark under the year. Then look closely at Lincoln's portrait. Are the details sharp? Is the coin still shining red rather than dull brown? Check the lettering for doubling, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice even the slightest variation, you may be looking at something truly special. Of course, condition is king. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being flawless perfection. A regular 1979 penny in good condition might bring in a few dollars, but a mint state or proof-like coin could transform your financial future. If your coin shows that vibrant copper color and zero wear, it's time to send it for professional grading. Some viewers might wonder, really? Can a penny like this change someone's life? Absolutely. Just think about it. One small coin, one moment of curiosity, can open the door to a six-figure payday. History has proven it time and time again. There was the man who sold a wheat penny for over $1 million. Another who found a 1970s error coin in his change and paid off his mortgage. Could the next success story be yours? But here's a word of caution. Don't fall into the trap of letting skepticism blind you. Most people laugh off the idea of valuable coins because it seems too good to be true. Yet those same people watch others walk away with life-changing profits. Fear can hold you back, or it can push you forward. The choice is yours. Still, finding a treasure like this isn't just about profit. It's about passion. It's about connecting with history, preserving art, and embracing the thrill of discovery. And there's something poetic about it, isn't there? The smallest coin, often ignored, becoming a symbol of hope and opportunity. Now, here's the exciting part. The market is heating up again. Experts predict the value of high-grade Lincoln cents will rise even further in the next few years, especially as new collectors enter the scene. With demand climbing and supply shrinking, owning a top-quality 1979 penny today could be like holding a golden lottery ticket tomorrow. So, what's your next move? Will you walk past your coin jar again tomorrow morning? Or will you take a closer look tonight? Remember, every great discovery starts with curiosity. The kind that whispers, "What if?" Because somewhere out there, in a jar, drawer, or forgotten pocket, lies a coin that could turn a regular day into the best day of your life. And who knows? The next 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $979,000 might already be in your hands. If you're serious about uncovering hidden wealth and transforming simple coins into extraordinary opportunities, make sure to stay with this channel. We'll guide you through the secrets, the strategies, and the hidden treasures that others overlook. Subscribe now because the next coin we talk about might just be worth more than your car or your house. The story of the 1979 Lincoln penny reminds us that fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or real estate deals. Sometimes, it's hidden in the smallest places, waiting for someone bold enough to look. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your entire life. You pick it up, thinking it's just another coin, maybe worth a cent or two. But what if I told you that penny, sitting in your pocket or hiding in a jar at home, could be worth up to $982,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly the case with the mysterious 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that has turned ordinary people into the next overnight success stories in the coin-collecting world. The story begins in 1982, a year of quiet revolution in U.S. coinage. Most Americans had no idea that the U.S. Mint was changing the very foundation of their pennies. For over a century, pennies had been made of solid copper, beautiful, heavy, and timeless. But copper prices were rising, and it became more expensive to make a penny than the penny itself was worth. So, the Mint made a historic shift, replacing copper with a cheaper zinc core coated in copper. The coins looked identical to the naked eye, but they were worlds apart in composition. Now here's where things get fascinating. During that transition, both copper and zinc pennies were produced, and somewhere along the way, an unmarked batch slipped through, creating a rare variety known today as the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Some of these coins were struck using the wrong planchets, others with mixed designs, and a handful even display extraordinary minting errors. And when collectors discovered them, the race was on. Imagine being one of those early discoverers. You dump your change jar onto the table, hear that faint metallic clink, and see a slightly different hue or weight in one penny. You take it to a coin expert, and they look at you with disbelief. That 1-cent piece, the one you almost spent on a gumball, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not because of gold, not because of diamonds, but because of its story, its rarity, and the error that should never have happened. So what makes the 1982 no-mint Mark penny so valuable today comes down to three powerful factors: composition, condition, and curiosity. Let's start with composition. 1982 was unique because 7 different varieties of pennies were made that year. Some copper, some zinc, some with small dates, others with large dates. But the one that truly turns heads is the no-mint Mark copper penny from Philadelphia. Only a handful are known to exist, and their near-perfect minting combined with that transitional composition makes them worth their weight in gold, quite literally, sometimes worth more than a bar of it. Next is condition. Like fine art or vintage cars, condition means everything in coin collecting. A regular 1982 penny in your pocket might be worth a cent, but if yours happens to be in pristine condition, uncirculated, with sharp edges and a clean surface, collectors will pay astronomical prices for it. Some have even crossed the $982,000 mark at private auctions and elite coin shows. That's right, a single penny sold for nearly $1 million. It's the kind of number that stops you mid-sentence, isn't it? And finally, curiosity, that magic ingredient that turns a simple coin into a legend. Every collector, investor, and treasure hunter wants to own a piece of American history. And the 1982 no-mint Mark penny embodies that thrill perfectly. It's a mystery you can hold in your hand, a symbol of how one small mistake at the mint created a multi-million-dollar treasure hunt that continues to this day. But let's pause for a moment. How many 1982 pennies have passed through your hands over the years? Hundreds? Thousands? And how many times have you really looked at one closely? Most people never do. They toss them into jars, leave them in glove compartments, or drop them in tip jars without a second thought. Meanwhile, others are cashing in on the ones they found hiding in plain sight. Doesn't that make you wonder what might be waiting in your own home right now? Now, before you go rushing to the nearest coin dealer, here's the catch. Not all 1982 pennies are worth a fortune. Many are just ordinary zinc versions. The valuable one weighs about 3.11 grams, the true copper kind. If it's 2.5 grams, it's zinc, still interesting but not life-changing. So grab a simple digital scale, check your coins, and start hunting. That tiny difference in weight could be the line between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. And if you think finding one is impossible, think again. People across the country have discovered these coins in the most unexpected places: estate sales, family coin boxes, even piles of loose change at gas stations. One lucky finder from the Midwest sold his 1982 no-mint mark penny for over $800,000 after realizing what he had tucked away in a coffee tin. Another collector from Florida turned a 1-cent discovery into enough money to buy a dream home and retire early. Imagine that. A lifetime of work replaced by a coin you almost threw away. Here's the truth. The world of rare pennies is no longer just for historians or collectors. It's become a real-world opportunity for ordinary people who understand timing, curiosity, and a bit of luck. And the 1982 penny is proof that wealth can appear in the smallest, most overlooked places. It's not about chasing luck. It's about paying attention. You might be wondering, why hasn't everyone started searching by now? Well, here's where fear comes in. Most people hesitate because they assume it's too late, that all the valuable coins are already found. But they're wrong. New discoveries are happening every year. Coins long forgotten in attics and drawers are being re-examined with fresh eyes, and the prices just keep climbing as supply dwindles. That's the urgency. The window of opportunity is closing, and those who act now could be the next success story. Now, think about it. What would you do if you discovered one of these rare pennies? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Start that business you've always dreamed of? Every coin has a story, but this one could rewrite yours. It's not just about money. It's about the thrill of possibility, the satisfaction of uncovering something extraordinary in the ordinary. Before we wrap up, remember this: treasures like the 1982 no-mint mark penny remind us that fortune often hides in the smallest details. The next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up, check it, study it, because the difference between a common coin and a fortune could be just a few grams and a missing mint mark. And here's a little secret. More rare coins just like this are still out there waiting to be found. Some even rarer, some worth even more. If you want to uncover them, you'll need to know what to look for, where to look, and how to sell them for their true value. So, if you're ready to turn spare change into serious wealth, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Because next time, we're revealing another coin that could make you a millionaire. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.